Let's bring back in our all-star panel, John Ridley. He's a frequent commentator on National Public Radio and the author of The American Way. Craig Crawford, a contributing editor and columnist at Congressional Quarterly and an MSNBC political analyst. He's been on Imus 67 times. Michaela Angela Davis, the editor-in-chief of HoneyMag.com, and MSNBC media analyst Steve Adubato. He's also a visiting lecturer at Rutgers and has been for about 20 years now. Michaela, do you agree with Al Sharpton that people like Al Sharpton need to go after those that subsidize the hip-hop community also?
Well, it's interesting. There's been so many men in the center of this conversation, and I agree with some of the things that he says, but also we have to be careful when we single out certain artists and lump it all into that all of rap music is bad. Ludacris's current hit is about runaways. The last hit of Jay-Z, he was calling me a pretty lady. So we have to really also think about, there are rap artists like Common that call black women queens and beautiful. There are rap artists like Talib Kweli. There are rap artists like Mos Def that say beautiful, amazing things, but it's not sexy to the media to turn their eyes or their money towards things that black people are doing inside the hip-hop community, inside the hip-hop culture, that are positive. There are things that we are doing that go unseen. How David Banner rushed down to New Orleans when Katrina hit. Like, the hip-hop community really showed up, but we didn't see that because it's not sensational and it's not sexy. So we have to be really careful how we talk about hip-hop culture when you're talking about 4 or 5 individual rappers. And I agree with the brother that we don't have enough balance. We're not talking about 4 or 5, though. Well, I mean, we're not talking about 4 or 5, though. I mean, yeah, but you're certainly talking about... There are people, even Chuck D, who, of course, is the front man of Public Enemy. Yes, and a lot of people in the African-American community are actually going around and starting to say, you know what, this is a music form, this is an art form that has been taken over by thugs, and we've got to stop it. We've got to take this art form back. It's not just thugs, it's greedy corporate people that green light these records. Are you thinking that there are no rappers? I mean, the fact that there are no women on the mic at all is a problem. When we used to have Queen Latifah, Salt and Pepper, Yo-Yo, The Real Roxanne, we had women who had voices. We have lost our balance in hip-hop because it's not making enough money. It's not sexy for Mos Def to be on MTV the way he should be to bring balance. When Chuck D was rapping, there was a plethora of voices. Some of them were rough, like Tupac and Biggie, but we also had women, we also had satire, we also had fun. Hip-hop was about rocking the party, and anybody here that is under 60 has some rap song that makes them feel good. So we can't forget how it has mobilized so many people. It gave Spike Lee his career, my career, Queen Latifah. We have CEOs owning things now because of hip-hop culture. So we have to be very careful when we start lumping it all together. This is we're not lumping it all together, but certainly there are people of all races who are very concerned about the direction that it's gone. Hey, let's bring in our all-star panel. I want to go to Michaela first. Michaela, talk about this double standard. Well, I think what we're seeing here is the backlash of a deplorable educational system and how we don't know enough about each other that we can talk about each other in such separate ways. If we knew more about our own history, American history, black history, we wouldn't be so removed. And also, if we saw a little bit more of black women that do love each other and take people to task, like what happened at Spelman, like our foundation, Black Girls Rock, like what happens on HoneyMag.com, like what happened with Essence and Take Back the Music for an entire year. We talk to rappers and to corporate America, but we don't see us loving each other enough, so we think that we're doing nothing. There's a lot being done on a community level, on a grassroots level, where we are talking to our girls. And if I have anything lastly to say is that this is about loving our young black women, not about rich white men, for me, that have millions of dollars, not about rich rappers, not about rich corporate America, but those young women who are building their lives and building their self-esteem with very little support from this culture. So I think that if we start to
Michaela,
look at.
I think you can say that. I think you can say that not only about African-American girls, but as a father that's got a young girl growing up right now, the visual images that these girls see, that they're supposed to look like, dress like,